Alright, we thought out Matt. He's here. We're going into Dr. Freeze's lab, which was actually for weapons testing.
So I do apologize.
There's also a dude who has and we also have a dude who has freaking really solid blue skin. And it's time for anybody who has seen Heart of Ice to learn about what happened here.
What happened?
Data analysis indicates that he died from heat stroke, but the control room
So this guy, in a room temperature room, died of heat stroke.
Huh.
I mean, yeah, no, this place got stupidly fucking cold, and once he found his way into, you know, natural
like temperatures, somehow his body just completely resisted and refused it. So it's time to go back and figure out what the hell happened here.
Anyway, I'm here, much to the detriment of everybody.
You're fine.
We promised you'd be here the finale of this. Goodness me. And yes, these guys I cannot thaw. These guys are way absolute dead.
Aw. You're not gonna give him a bro hug?
No. Oh, someone ran.
I gotta get out of here.
He died, and then the other guy who didn't die, he put his handprints on here. And this guy must have seen what would have happened if he tried to leave this lab.
Wait, stop! You don't know what you're doing!
Don't go without me!
This was Dr. Freeze.
Victor?
He must have watched the security guard.
He was like, oh god, I can't leave this place. And so he went over here. So effectively now, first off, we now know why Freeze needs to be in a suit at all times.
Right.
Well, yeah.
He will literally die in anything colder than warmer than Sub-Zero.
Until Arkham City, in which case he's like safe out there for like, because that guy died immediately. He's apparently in City he's safe for like a little bit.
I mean, I'm sure the dude toned his body in such a way where he can resist it for a little bit.
I was about to say, didn't he also have like a tube of coolant that he can actually insert into his chest to help prolong his living a bit?
Yeah, which Batman forcibly yanked out of him for a brief bit.
Yeah.
We needed information. But yeah, no, so now we see what's happening. The cryo vapors affected his body, and we thought that someone had been frozen by Freeze's suit, but someone else must have had a freezing weapon.
I wonder who... man, I was hoping he kicked him right in the bat-nats.
And yeah, that's how it froze the guy. The cannon down, and so somebody was actually beating the crap out of Dr. Freeze.
The plume enveloped Freeze on the guard.
Oop.
But the shockwave knocked the assailant
Ow.
clear.
Ow!
If we can find the gun, though, we can scan for prints to figure out who the heck was the one beating everybody up.
Well,
For those that watched
the...
Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, if you saw there, he dropped it over there in the corner.
I know, but we have to rewind the whole thing to show it, so...
I'm sure those that have already watched the episode probably know exactly who those prints belong to.
Kaboom! It belonged to none other than...
Oh, boy. Oh, no, it's Victor.
No, yeah, you can see right there. No, blood DNA match was from us being hit, but the fingerprints was Ferris Boyle.
Boyle.
So, yep. Now we know what happened. Ferris Boyle is actually a bit of a dick.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Something was wheeled through.
Honestly,
Possibly a gurney.
even in the original, you could tell Boyle was at fault because Boyle was just a complete asshole throughout.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
no,
sure there was some justifiable reason, but at the same time, it's like, he wasn't going to get given to Hart. He wanted to mug me.
Now what's on this thing?
The thing that was being wheeled out of here was...
Odd. Freeze was secretly doing research on Huntington's Korea. But this is a cryogenic weapons lab. The test subject was Nora Freeze. Now I know.
See, I told you it wasn't fries.
Hired Victor to help advance the secret
Thank you.
cryoweapons program within Gotham.
Yep. Boyle used Freeze.
Boyle agreed to devote
God, Victor looked ugly in the Arkhamverse.
Apparently, Victor looked like a PS2 model.
But Boyle was more interested in how Victor had managed to put Nora into cryostasis. When Victor realized that Boyle had no intention of following through on their deal, he decided to do the Huntington's research himself. But Boyle didn't like that.
That's
Fun
my
fact-
equipment,
Fun
dickhead!
fact about the name of Huntington's disease, that was actually a creation of the Joel Schumacher
Boyle
Batman
escaped
movie.
ahead of the plume that had the lab
Oh, yeah, I could've
So,
sworn that...
well, here's the thing. the disease existed in the animated series, but they never named it. They didn't name it until Batman and Robin, in which case they gave it the name Huntington's disease. I forgot exactly where it came from. I'll look it up. But yeah,
There is a real canonical reason to watch that movie. Thank you.
yeah, but now every single
There's the crowd
version
cooling we need for the drill.
Now every single version uses Huntington's disease and stuff like that.
the same food I need for the
Or well,
So,
okay,
yeah.
okay. To be fair, Huntington's disease is a real disease, but like they decided to, you know, use it for Batman now, and they still in the original animated series never really named what disease Nora had.
Right.
All we knew is
Yeah.
that it was killing her.
But yep. So as Alfred and them console each other, another person we can take off of our Christmas card list.
Aw.
And you wonder why Batman has a problem trusting people.
Yeah.
So I guess Jordy, now that we now know the whole story, we now talk about everything. Did you ever watch the Heart of Ice, like any of the other animated or origin stories for Freeze?
Not by much. I mean, I remember seeing Sub-Zero, and I remember seeing, I think it was the first episode where he got introduced into
Heart of
Batman
Ice.
the Animates. Maybe, but
Penguin,
I've only
don't
seen
worry,
it like
it's okay.
once.
I got the drill. Now hang on, let me just get at this, and I'll put the drill in
You have
place.
to clear the room
And,
first. You know that.
Penguin, if you could very well just tell these guys I'm gonna free you in just a moment, like I promise. I'm like, why can't he just tell them, guys,
Wait.
it's okay, he's here to save me?
Well, I was about to
guys.
say.
Oh, sorry, no, you finish.
I was just about to say. First off, cute of you to assume that Batman would care about Penguin more than stopping boils.
But like, we gotta get through that. We're gonna help him. Like, Penguin, if you could just tell everybody this is just a complete misunderstanding here, I'm sure we could work something out. As I'm saying this, as I'm beating these guys up. Really, I'm here to work for all of you. Now, if you just excuse me, you.
Ow! My ears.
Are you frozen now? Good.
Dude.
I mentioned I'm Sonic. Anyway.
Now then.
And Chris
Penguin.
Redfield.
You're gonna get me on this damn iceberg.
I still fucking love his face.
But you can't leave me here. I'll freeze to death. Not my problem.
Damn.
Wow, really? Well, I mean, no blood on my hands.
Bloody cape, you hear?
I wasn't the one that killed him. The ice did. The ice is the
So the-
murderer.
So, yeah,
I'm
the good
surprised
news
he
about
can
the
still
crowd, Joe-
talk in that ice.
I know, seriously.
I'm surprised he's
Yeah.
still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the goddamn penguin.
Oh, there we go. And break.
Oh,
And oh
I
shit, killed
there's
him.
actually a,
Show
there's
off.
actually a, no, I see, it just drills it, but there's a part of me that there's a part of me that would love if somehow we broke the entire wall except for the part of it that Penguin was stuck in.
yeah.
Like it just all falls anyway. And there's our last guys. We get the ice escape shockwave. So if ever we are frozen, like in a certain boss battle that's about to come up ahead, if ever we break out of it, it'll stun everyone around us for a bit.
Also,
Because I mean,
cool.
shockingly, because I mean, yeah, we're already at the climax.
also I fucked up.
What's wrong?
What did you do?
Apologies. Huntington's disease, so that is a real thing. There are in different iterations. So apparently, there's different iterations that say different diseases. Huntington's is the real life disease. The fake disease they use in multiple different stuff that comes from the Batman and Robin is actually called McGregor's syndrome.
Right. Because I was about to say, I thought that they used a different name than that.
Yeah, they use a different name. However, I think over time they just realized, oh, it's pretty similar to Huntington's. Let's just pretty much call it the real life disease.
So look at it this way, Logan. Now you don't have to watch Batman and Robin to get that factoid.
Thank goodness.
Sorry.
There is a god.
Well, I was about to say,
Now.
like, I feel like if we really wanted to do our Batman marathon, we would have to eventually just.
Everybody, oh,
Oh boy.
I have nothing against it, because dumb as a movie as it is a fun movie to watch just because of how dumb it is.
so again, we have this unfortunate moment where, yeah, I will say that when it comes down to it, I think Freeze is one of the most sympathetic Batman villains.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about.
What you say?
So,
Oh, boy.
time for a Mr. Freeze boss fight.
Oh, boys.
Do you understand? Nothing but my Nora.
You've endangered lives all over
Also, I
So,
do find it
how-
interesting that most of the actors for the games like are replaced, and yet Maurice LaMarche and Nolan North are still used. Like in
Well,
Origins.
technically, also Wally Wingert is Riddler.
Right, and
Yeah.
Wally, and Wally. I forgot about Wally.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised with how much they did bring back. The only real strays in the matter are Batman, Joker, and
Bane,
Whoa.
and Bane.
Gordon.
Well, Gordon changes actor every fucking game. I
Yeah,
don't
Gordon
count him.
changes actor every game, so.
So we have Penguin's goons here for a bit, but for now we want to bring Freeze down here. We're gonna need to deactivate the cryo reactors.
How do we do that?
Do the same way we do everything: punch it, burn it, sap it, because we still have our shock gloves technically in these things.
But be very careful, because it's going to take a while for you to deactivate them, and while you're busy with that, they'll give them enough time to walk up to you and be like, "Hey, get away!"
Batman,
quickly
what
get
do
out
you
of there.
think you're doing over there?
So
Stop!
very quickly get out of there.
Ooh, that gave me the chills.
I wasn't the one to do the pun this time. You can't blame me.
So yeah, the good news is that I believe it's always been the case. He's not very agile in that suit of his.
No,
So
he never is.
try to do it so that he's always having to walk to the far side of the platform.
God
and
damn it,
No, you
Batman! I tell you once, I'll tell you again. Stop interfering with my tech.
I
You're
can't
being
promise anything.
It's like, you're being a real duty head right now.
Duty head.
I dare say, perhaps even a knucklehead.
Is
You're
Mr.
a
Freeze
knucklehead.
going to have? Is Mr. Freeze going to have to give Mr. Batman the popsicle?
Oh, I don't even want to know what you think that means.
So anyway. Oh geez, now cry vapors are going everywhere.
Well, the good thing we have the suit that helps
I
that.
think you're killing the henchman.
Oh yeah, I know he is. Don't worry, he'll
Yeah.
order. Don't worry, he'll be ordering in new models in just a bit.
Plus, I feel like, again, Freeze doesn't care. He just cares about getting rid of Batman.
Well, shit.
awkward.
Well,
At least we're wearing a thermal suit.
Oh,
Whoa!
Oh,
he thought of
fuck.
that. Oh,
Fairly certain
Okay, we
we
need
can
to move
still
away from
stand
him.
on that.
I mean, well, it's slippery.
God damn it.
I mean, come to think of it, is he even wearing cleats on those things?
yeah, no, yeah. There's it's like if you've ever seen like snow
Snow boots,
climbing gear,
snow spikes.
you have little spikes to like dig into it. Otherwise, there'd be no traction.
Right,
But-
cleats.
but yeah, since we got that out of the way, now it's basically, for the most part, pretty much a retrend of how you fight him in City. There are basically try to vary up your ways of approaching him.
Yep. So I can, for instance, do this, but if I do this, eventually, if I do this too many times, you'll notice now his backpack is emitting for a while some cryo vapors that'll basically force me to have to get away. And now that it's leaking out the back, I can no longer do back takedowns on him without getting frozen.
Right, right.
Well,
But
that's-
fortunately,
That's more of a that's a different interpretation because pretty much he almost did the same in Arkham City, but instead
go?
he
Oh,
had
jump
like
down.
back propellers to do all that.
right, hang on, wait for it. Go.
Bomb's way.
Bam. That
Ouch.
stuns him. So, yeah, and his health bar is in the upper right, as you can see. But otherwise, I mean, I'll admit, there's something about. I will say, there's something about the. Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
There's something about
Whoa.
the.
Oh,
Oh, he let that
Little momentum
shot.
there. Little
Why?
momentum there, but anyway.
I
There's
really
some-
would have loved if he just up and slammed right into the camera at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. So I will say, there's something about the city fight that I like a bit more. Like, it's more condensed.
Yeah.
It's a smaller arena. You don't have to worry about goons. It's just
Yeah.
you versus him. This one is. It's okay. Like, there are elements there, but I will say I think the city version is just the more optimized version of this fight.
Yeah.
And go.
Ouch.
That hurt.
And
That
also
barely
this,
nicked
and
my
also,
suit.
Fight him.
This Freeze doesn't fully learn from his mistakes like the other.
No, like if this was a city fight, then he would have by this point he would have done an attack that made like all the stalactites fall,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we couldn't use them on him anymore.
I love the
Because you always have that
Yes.
as an option still. Okay, yeah, you're right. Because stalactites would be stone. Fine, icicles. They're massive freaking icicles.
It still means ouchies.
Yeah.
They still give me boo-boos, and unfortunately Nora cannot kiss my boo-boos.
Okay, let's get a little closer. And
Ouch!
Ow.
My
we'll
nose.
take down there. Let's get away.
You really know how to open up a wound.
That is as I can scientifically decree a low blow. Alright, so then it took me a little bit of walking around to
Why
find
do
him.
you have to play a player like that?
Why
Like
must you
we
give
do
me?
that.
Why must you give me the cold shoulder, Batman?
God damn it.
Alright, let's wait for him to walk closer and I can do a
The
vent
fact that it took
takedown.
us this long to make ice puns.
I'm not even the
Yeah,
one
it's gonna come
making
eventually.
them.
And
You
Ow,
can't blame
my
me this time,
knee.
Logan.
Damn it!
There we go.
Quit
Uh-oh.
giving me the cold feet.
also, apparently something's going on. With all this chaos going around, the cryogenic freezing is starting to fail on Nora's chamber.
Ooh.
So as a complete and like utter like last ditch effort, he is freezing everything, including all the guards, because he needs to try and keep things like under control.
Cryogenic.
Otherwise, Nora.
Fairly certain
So at
that's
this-
not how that works, Bats.
Well, regardless,
There he
where our
is.
thermal suit protecting us, we need to now get the jump on him. Unfortunately,
Don't mind me, gentlemen.
so get underneath him. And
What was
Then
that
we
sound?
should have done
Oh,
it.
whatever.
so, congrats.
What
we did
the?
it.
Game over.
Ouch! And fucking.
I don't think he would have been able to feel that anyway. Oh, hey, Boyle.
You should be freezing to death.
I'm evil, if you couldn't remember.
And now he wants to kill all of us.
Because of
Oh,
course
boy.
he wants to.
Ugh.
And here I thought I was going to have a problem explaining what happened in your lab. I mean, the police are never going to look at me after what you did. And with this bat freak dead, there won't be anyone left to say otherwise.
Never say dead to the Batman.
I can still hear you, you know.
So now we have a new little gimmick here. Notice how Mr. Freeze's health bar is still up on the right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I get it.
Keep you alive long enough to see.
We need to now try and break out of here before he fully kills him.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice twist.
So just mash the button and get out of here. Almost. Just you don't you hate when you tie your shoes wrong.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
won't hear that.
Come on. And
I'm
that's
too
me.
busy being evil to notice.
And yeah, I will say,
There we
like,
go.
Boyle was not, like, he was an asshole in the show, but he wasn't this much of an asshole.
Yeah, no,
Well-
he still kept things relatively secretive,
Well,
or
there
about
you
as
go.
much as he could anyway.
He's down, and now Batman will see that we do have a heart. Mhm. There you go, Freeze. We restored it.
Everybody gets one freeze.
I can't give you peace, but I can give you justice.
Oop.
Oh, that feels so much better.
I can give you
So-
just ice.
Ha. Anyway,
Way to
so
kick
with
a
that,
man while he's down, Batman.
so there you go. And thus began a rather dark sort of relationship
And
between
what
Batman
began-
and Freeze.
And thus began basically Batman's, Dr. Octopus.
I guess.
Essentially.
So from here on out, you'll hear more stuff talking about how we brought in Freeze into Arkham, and now Nora's being looked elsewhere. But yeah, it's just this unfortunate eternal struggle that the two of them are going to be going through.
And remember when Sub-Zero gave us a happy ending for Mr. Freeze? I mean,
Yeah,
this is pretty.
until
this is-
I was about to say, until Batman Beyond sort of ruined it with what happened with Nora.
Thankfully, I will say, Arkham Knight, one of the best things about it is that it does wrap up a lot of plot points and characters, and it does it surprisingly well.
Yeah, like, I really like how they handled the Freeze arc.
Yeah. Well, okay, most of them they do well, and then there's, Hush, which I hated how they handled him.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Don't mock me.
So, I guess with that all said and done, that's more or less it.
Wow.
Logan,
I mean,
what do you have
I-
to say on the matter?
I enjoyed this. Again, I enjoyed getting to experience all of Origins, including this DLC, and I thought this was really, I thought it was a really nice, condensed little project, and I still will, once again, as my final thoughts, say that I think still City is better than this, but I do think, but I do not mind how this handled the whole open world thing. It definitely was not as bloated as, say, Night.
More than a small role for sure, Miss Vale.
Of course. So James, what did you think of our time with Cold Heart and Mr. Freeze?
It was a decent little addition for what it's worth. That being said, if I really want to go back to Mr. Freeze origin stories, I'm just gonna stick with Heart of Ice.
That's fair.
Or subs. Well, then again, that wasn't really so much an origin story. That was just a non-canonical ending to his arc.
Yeah.
Yes. Matt, Jordy, for the time you guys were with us, what did you think of this little detour?
You first, Jordy.
It was cold, like this weather.
Oh.
Yeah. Burr.
Jordy, I am in the Pacific Northwest. You have no right.
Well, hold
She's
on.
in the Pacific
What's your
she's in
weather
the
right
Atlantic
now?
Northeast.
It is freezing here as well. Yeah, it's cold.
She's in the Atlantic Northeast where it snows.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
Okay, you give me that.
But Matt, what about you?
I'm sorry,
Anyway,
Jordy.
you
It's
bickering-
okay. I was playing along.
You two
Anyway,
should have a
pick-
snowball fight
I
together.
was like, anyway, you bickering bozos, what did you think about it all, Matt?
I think it was great. I think it's a solid adaptation of the Heart of Ice storyline, which I'm not going to lie, I do prefer Heart of Ice. But this is still a really good quote unquote introduction to Freeze's character in the Arkham games and all that. And yeah, I really like it and think it was decent. Honestly, not going to lie, I like this one thing better than the entirety of Arkham Knight, so...
Ouch.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Well,
Arkham Knight disappointed the shit out of me!
Speaking
No,
of which,
yeah.
I do
Yeah.
believe that's where we're headed to next.
yes, that's going to be the next one we're going to do. However, there's also a potential chance, just because of new technology, I'll look into it, see how well it works. We may do a silly little VR look at.
Oh?
Maybe.
Oh, right! I forgot about
Because
that thing!
Because I do have the means to do VR things, and that could involve that one. And the other thing I guess I would say is, Hype, do we have any means? Is that one mobile game that freaking
Netherrealm?
NetherRealm made? Is that still on the app stores?
No,
and
that's
stuff?
gone. That thing
Ah,
left
darn.
years
Oh
ago.
well, because we learned about that, and that would have been interesting to show off as well, because it was an interesting little take. But anyway, so yeah, because I believe that VR. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. That VR thing, that's like a short little bit demo build thingy. I think that's in the Arkham universe.
It
It
is.
is.
That is an Arkham canon thing. Fun
Okay.
fact, it came out after Arkham Knight.
Oh well, then we're gonna fine. Sticking to our word, yes, Night will be the first.
Well,
Oh.
we might want to do the VR first because the VR is a prequel. So,
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
because
then
I
we'll
will
do that.
say, there is, not spoiling the end of Arkham Knight, but there's kind of a reason why it's a prequel.
Well, yeah, duly noted. Fine, then yes. Join us where I'm going to hopefully get all that
We're
stuff
doing
set up to
Arkham
maybe
something.
do. Yes. Join us because we're
Yeah.
not done. And yes, thank you everybody for joining us for this whole little adventure. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you again, Hype, for introducing me to this series with Arkham Asylum and City. I'm happy to be able to now make my own contributions to it.
No problem, and I'm glad you've been enjoying it.
And before we close
Alright.
out, I would like to say one line, please.
Go
What
for
was
it.
that?
I can only beg for your forgiveness and pray you hear me somehow. Someplace where a warm hand waits for mine.
Who's he talking to?
Shut up, Bill!
Did I ever tell you what killed the dinosaurs?
Fuck you.
I'm
guys.
Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr.
Mr.
Snow.
I don't get that part. That's I can accept a lot of things.
I was
But I
trying to...
don't accept the fact that
Everybody
Mr. Freeze
no.
forced his mooks to watch Snow Miser. Join us. See you guys.
Till next time.
I go burr.
Stay cool.
Bad boy.